We are Steven and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steven Jill here.
hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill Dewitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about that aha moment that every good acquisition should topic. I think, yesterday we talked about title insurance and stuff. This is what separates people, this type of topic, or this really is a specific topic, what separates people from being great at acquisitions and people who just are probably either brand new or just don't have a real knack for it. So we'll do a question, and then I'm gonna ask you. We'll get into the topic.
I was going to add real quick, the reason this is important is for sales. I have a lot. It's not just thinking about, do I buy it, not buy it? You know when you look at it like, oh, but this is the beginning of how you're going to sell your property, because whatever jumped out at you is going to jump out your buyer, and I'll tell you all about what to do with that.
I also think it applies to everything in life that's important. Like every one of us, our dress. You know what? I need to have this, and I get that. It makes me have a feeling like I've looked at 100 dresses before, but this one, wow. And if the shopkeeper has got that dress in the window, they're smart. They know that it's gonna bring you into the store. It happens with cars. It happens with girls. It happens with children. And real estate.
Here's the problem with the dress analogy. Over 50% of the time, I'm here to tell you right now, this is true. Any woman listening will back me up on this. The dress looks better on the model than it does in life. So we won't use the dress anymore.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Is it for me to read the question now?
From a man's standpoint, I have some
Okay.
to talk about. Take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
Jessica wrote, hi, I've only done a few micro mailers and I'm ready to scale up. I'm curious how people send multiple thousands of mailers to the same county. Are people who are doing this sending mail to all vacant parcels across a very wide range of lot sizes? For instance, in my last data poll, I requested all vacant land with no improvements and property sizes from 5 to 15 acres. This resulting record count was 876 records. This is not an overly rural area. So am I not searching for the data correctly, or are other members sending to a larger variety of property sizes, or something else? Thanks. This is you, Steven.
Yeah, for sure. What I want you to do, Jessica, and everybody else, is go into DataTree, go into the advanced search option, choose your state, choose your county, and then start clicking the button for count requests. This is much more laborious and much more difficult and painstakingly slow to do in RealQuest Pro. So DataTree is the best place to do this. Even if you end up downloading the data from RealQuest, that's fine. But this is an almost immediate ADD type way to see what's going on. As far as the problem with Jessica, what's going on, it's not a problem. You're learning is with no improvements. So some of these data sets, the way that they're put together by the developers, there's a real big difference between 0 and null. Null is just an empty space. 0 is the value 0. And so sometimes the way that the assessors send their data to these aggregators like DataTree, they either might have a 0 in there. If they're accountants, they have a 0 in there. If they're artists, they have a null. And that's just everything has to have a value. Go ahead, Jill. Make fun of me.
Sure about this is so true. I have to add that in the history of our company, nothing makes Steven more mad than an empty column. I'm not kidding. I don't care what you do to the guy. An empty column means you missed it. But if
I
there's a
gave up.
0 or an NA or something in there, he knows that you are deliberately leaving it blank. A blank is not a blank in our world. So that's so true about the null and the zeros.
Blank field or a null value in a cell or in a database says to me this, I don't really care. I don't care if I put it. In fact, I may have not even looked at it. Steve, you'll never know. I don't really care. Don't know what the value is. In fact, I'm feeling not confident about putting anything in there. I'm going to go have a drink. That's what it says to me, and it sends me to the moon. It sends me to the moon for the reason that's Jessica's dead on here. Because I bet you, if it's not a very rural, I know what's going on here. This happens to me every single time I do a mailer. How that data got input by the assessor or the aggregator, how they brought the data in, could be all kinds of stuff. Could be a non-numeral field type. Could be a text type. That'll make it null right there. So these problems are all really solvable. It's just, in my opinion, it's laziness on the aggregator's part, on the developer's part, and potentially the assessor's part. Although every assessor that I've ever talked to understands this problem. It's not the assessor. I'm telling you right now, it's not the assessor. Those people really, in general, manage the data very, very, very well. So my point is this: go into data tree and start horsing around. Put zeros in there. Take zeros out. Put them at zeros in different improvement values. There's land value, improvement values. There are land value percentages, improvement percentages, depending. You have to sit there for hours, Jessica and everybody else, hours, and get a cup of coffee or a sandwich or whatever it is, and you will get to the bottom of knowing exactly how many 5 to 15 acre properties that have no improvements on it between the 3 data sets that we are licensed providers. That's why we don't just have data tree. You should count them, pit them against each other.
I would say too is, and at the end, you had a lot there. I don't know if you covered this. I want to make sure, but I want you to send at least 1,500, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the point here too is Steven's saying, make sure you're looking at the right thing. And it's very easy. Most of us on the planet have more than one monitor nowadays. So have data tree over here and RealQuest Pro over here and compare. Right. Shouldn't be too far off. Number one, if it is too far off, you did something wrong somewhere. You pushed something is not picking up. And then the second thing is maybe make it 5 to 20 acres. I want you to get, maybe it's 5 to 22 acres, whatever it is. And you should have a list that you're keeping track of every county, the sizes that you pull, how you priced it, and when you sent the mail out, so you can be smart about your mailers and not accidentally rehit an area or a size again also.
If you're new or thinking about doing this, trying this, or doing this career, please hear this. This is the nucleus of our success as land people. It starts with that, if you're a writer, it starts with that blank sheet of paper or that cursor blinking in Microsoft Word before you create a masterpiece. This is that blank slate. This is the time where, this is a great question, Jessica. I'm glad you brought it up. You need to get to the bottom of this and feel comfortable and confident with getting a mailer in the mail. So, and it's not your fault, but most people, because of HGTV and the way that our parents did real estate deals, which is no longer how we do them now at all, focus on the actual piece of real estate. The data part of this is where it starts. And if you don't do this right in the beginning and really check yourself and maybe ask somebody else or ask your kids to do this. Hey, I want to buy 5 to 15 acres. Can you log in a data tree? And here's my account information. Check this out. Do this, do this, do this. Do you come up with this number? And see what they say. If you're lucky enough to have somebody in your life like I do with Jill, she's going to, when that mailer gets out, I'm done. She handles the rest because that's the part she likes. Or hopefully maybe you have a data person that's weirdo like I am, and you have to get to the bottom of it or you can't sleep. How's that, Jill?
Perfect.
Today's topic, that aha moment in every good acquisition and why it's so important. This is why you're listening. Jill, give us a definition of the aha moment, please.
This came up the other day when I was coaching our sales staff. and I was also talking to an accountability group. When a call comes in or a signed purchase agreement, something comes back from your mailer, and this is how we all are. First thing we all want to do is get eyes on the property. So what do? We sit down, you pop in state, county, APN, neighbor scoop, hit the button, and you're like, oh, this is it. That's like, oh, that you're just all excited. It's getting ready to open the present, and boop, there's your map. That's your aha moment. There, if it's a good property, it's going to be aha good, or it could be aha, or oh no, this is really too what's going on. Right then and there, oh my gosh, it's waterfront. Oh my gosh, look at that road access. Oh my gosh, look how big it is. Oh my gosh, look at the houses around it. Oh my gosh, I think there's something on it. Now it's even more valuable. There's something like that. That's your aha moment. And what it is the moment that I got to buy this. And the fact that you're saying that to yourself is what, when you go to sell the property, you need to convey in your posting that's going to make your buyer say, oh, I got to buy this. So I was telling a group of people, and including my staff, you got to write this stuff down. So, and that should be your point of how we sell property so fast online, aside from how great it's priced, is how great we present it. And you've got to get these people drawn in at that first moment. So you've got to have that photo. You've got to have a wonderful, beautiful lead photo that with blue sky. We talk about this a lot in other shows, and we talk about this all through Land Academy about, conveying the property. But you need to put this aha moment right there in your title of your posting. So an example would be, dreamy waterfront property, 2 acres, 6 miles from X, Nashville, something like that. I don't know about you, but right there you got my attention. And now I'm
Me
seeing a
too.
beautiful photo of it. Like, I'm in. Now I'm looking at your posting, looking for a problem. And then I'm questioning myself. This is if you do everything right. Now and I'm the buyer. Now you go down the posting, you're like, wow, I don't see a problem. And, oh my gosh, I better buy this before somebody else does because it's priced so well. That's it.
Jill and I are buying a property in the Phoenix area that backs up to a popular hiking trail. And for the right person, maybe somebody who's really avid exercise person that loves hiking, and maybe there are people that hike these mountains here in Central, right in Phoenix. There's like 10 of them right in Phoenix. They do this daily. Sometimes they do it multiple times a day. And a lot of them have a lot of time on their hands because they're rich and they're done. And so this property backs up to one of the most popular hiking trails in Arizona. And I mean backs up to, I mean it's adjacent. It butts to it. There's a gate. There's a gate with a lock on the back of the lot where you can open it, where you have the key and go hiking up that entire mountain, up and down, and then go back to your house and jump in the pool. And so, but did the real estate agent or the person that was involved in this deal at all even know about that? They didn't even talk about it. They didn't put it in the title of the posting, and on and on and on. And you don't almost ever buy anything out of the MLS. But Jill got us like several $100,000 off because she negotiated the deal. And Jill and I are both looking at each other going, this agent's just missed the mark. I mean, all she had to do is say hiker's dream. That's all it had to say. And it would have been under contract that day for full price, which is how we're going to sell it. So Jill's point is, there's the aha moments happen during the acquisition. That was ours, among other things that this property has as a rehab resale candidate. That, I mean, Jill already said, oh, I know exactly how I'm going to sell this. In the first 5 seconds of looking at the property and flipping through the pictures, and this agent, the way it was described and the way that it was shot, that's why we got it for such a great deal. Unfortunately, the seller picked a terrible agent.
Feel bad for them. I was gonna say, your aha moment telling you you're gonna buy it. the opposite is true also. And you need to think about this when you're making these acquisition decisions, because there's times that you pull up a property and instead of aha, you're, oh no, and you're seeing problems. And because this comes up a lot on Thursday afternoons, we have our weekly member call with all our members, and we have a um, time that we do deal review with people, and it's called "Would You Do This Deal?" And they could submit it, and we look at it together and talk about it. And it seems like every week I'm reminding everyone, I don't love it, but maybe you do. If you're going down this path, you need to be ready for it. You need to think about all these questions and concerns that I have right now. Your buyers are going to have those too. So you need to, like I said, just, for me, it's enough. If there's enough of them, I'm not buying the property. If I see it like, shoot, it's not as big as I thought it was. Wow, the road's not as great. Oh, now it needs this, it needs that. The slope might be drastic. And I don't want to, you're gonna have to explain it and or undo sales. You don't want to do that. So I just want to make sure there's an aha and there's an oh no. And then there's probably a gray area in the middle, but usually it's more ahas. You should only be buying those.
I have a couple final points to make. We've all gotten in the back of an Uber or a Lyft car and gotten back out because just it could be because the driver, it could be a smell, it could be, this is one of the things in real estate that I actually think women are more set up to accurately do this than men are. And so that Uber, I just bought a 1974 Volkswagen bus. I've had a million cars in my life, a million. I think I paid $8,000 for this car, which I think is probably roughly half of what it's worth. And every single time I get into that car, I just because I have a smile on my face. It's got, I think, 68 horsepower. It's the slowest thing there ever was. And I drive down the street and everybody just makes everybody smile. Little kids point, that whole experience for me is an aha moment, and it's not I don't anticipate it going away anytime soon. If you're a regular car person or not a car person, you're going to look at that and say, what a tin can piece of junk. Because that's honestly what it is. It's a tin can piece of junk, but it just makes me happy. So Jill and I we're doing a deal. My second point is this. I have that moment. It works for me. If it was a real estate deal, I would have done the same thing. I would have bought it. And if I was going to resell it, I would convey that sentiment to other Volkswagen people. My final point is this. Jill and I are doing a deal in Central Arizona right now. It's 9 units. And when that deal came in, Jill, it came in, it went into the Airtable, and then there was notes in there. I got tagged on it because usually I don't get involved in this. That said, hey, the seller got your offer prices. He wants to talk about it with you, Jill, tomorrow. He said, I'm not going to be crazy with renegotiating these prices. She had the conversation with the seller, the next day, and then that's when it got to me. And she said, can you take a look at these and see if I'm missing something? And I fell out of my chair with the aha moment, and it's one of the best deals that we will do. Certainly one of the best deals we'll do in 2020. The properties are 4 to 5 to 8 times in some cases 8 times for what we're going to sell, what we're buying. I can't even, it's just, you just know when it happens, Jill,
And if you're new, you'll get it. If you're new, if you're new, you will probably have some that will hit you right away. And then the rest you'll develop over time as you get to know an area and you have a lot of buyers. You'll have different aha moments because you'll be saying, I've been in this county for a while. I know what these people want. The last 10 that I had like this flew off the shelf. So you'll have developed an aha moment based on your buyers, and the recent buyers. So
what do you say to somebody, Jill, brand new, who is concerned about the fact that they may not have this talent?
Then pick the ones that you do get it. We all know how to look at a property and say, it either has pretty trees or it doesn't. That's easy. It's either by the water or it's not. It's either on the road or it's not. Those are some very easy things that are aha worthy?
I'll answer my own question maybe a different way. There are some people, a certain number of people that will never get this. To them, I say, you better just buy and sell on price.
That could be your aha moment.
Hmm.
That's okay too, by the way. Let's end on that. If you're really new and you're struggling with, is it too many trees? Is it not enough trees? Is it good slope, bad slope? Is it good access, bad access, whatever it is? Then maybe you're off nothing but numbers. You look it up and it goes through the things you're like, I think it's good, because that's probably happening. And then you go and do a little digging going, all right, did I price it right? Now you're in Zillow or wherever you're looking around, looking at things that are for sale in that area, in that zip, in that same size. That might be like, what just happened? Every other land deal in the zip code that in the last 6 months sold for $3,000 an acre, and I'm buying for $500 an acre. Sounds like an aha to me.
Yep.
You like that?
Once in a while, you hit a home run too. Like this hiking property that I mentioned has got built-in equity. It's got like five things that that's how you know we're just like, wow, this is going to be a home run when we're.
Happy you could join us today. 5 days a week, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode of the Land Academy show is called Selling Land Fast and Efficiently. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Super cool. That's fun to talk about.
Mhm.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I just think these kinds of topics are what separate really successful people and stuff. Earlier we were talking about, you have an aha moment in everything in life that really works. Like, I remember getting jobs, good paying jobs. Just that first feeling of just, oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing ever. Or, dating when you're young and all that. There's an aha moment for, I'll tell you, I had an aha moment that changed my life when I learned about the data set that RealQuest provides, or started providing in the late 90s to insurance companies. And it was never, I was trying to find a data set, a data aggregator for all the assessors in the country. And back then it was like just half of them because they didn't have contracts, only the electronic versions. Now it's 98%. And I called them and said, yeah, I know you guys, this is for insurance companies, but I could really use this data because I buy and sell a lot of land. And they're like, you're a silly little person, and that's fine, and it's going to cost X. And I said, great, bring it. There was no such thing as Land Academy. I sent that first mailer out, and it was like, aha, I hit it. I don't think any of these people ever got letters in their lives. And they couldn't sign them and send them back fast enough. And I said, all right, great. This is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. Here we are,
I had an
2020.
I had an aha moment when I met you.
Oh, that's really nice.
Thank you for tuning in. We hope you find our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please check out our YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the type of content you're here for. Hitting the like button on your favorite episodes helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest in future shows.
We are Steven Jill.
Information
And inspiration
to buy undervalued property.